Hello to all the geek enthusiasts, nerd aficionados. Mess 5150 here to talk to all you lords and ladies about Game of Thrones. We're talking about episode 3 of season 7, the Queen's Justice. And one of the queens got some justice for sure in this episode, but we'll get into that. We're going to go to a scene-by-scene recap of what happened in the episode. We want to know your guys' thoughts. So if you're in the chat room live, go ahead and sound off, say hello, and we'll respond back to you. And we'd really like to know your thoughts on the scenes. But joining me, let's introduce our Game of Thrones podcast cast. We have Super Hoovian Freak wearing a very flashy outfit today.
Yeah, I was trying to fit in with the Game of Thrones cast, but I think all I did was just make my arms really itchy.
I still want to make a comment. I just,
yeah.
Keep it in.
When you have to think about what you want, if you should say it or not, it usually means no, you shouldn't say it. But we are talking Game of Thrones, so people do just speak their mind. Also joining us is our chief of the website and the YouTube channel, Mr. Jack Malice. Now you can say something.
Oh, Zod! Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Hello, everybody. I'm telling you, he stole that shirt from Zod's closet, man.
And
He's gonna be pissed. He's gonna send that big dude underneath the radio tower to come get it back.
Well, there is a lot of Ben kneel before Zod and bended knees going on with this episode, so it kind of makes sense. And joining us for the first time on our Game of Thrones podcast, the binger of all bingers when it comes to Game of Thrones, Mr. Beacon. Hey, what have you been doing for the last 10 days?
Hodor! All right, Hodor can also mean what up, Big Papa Matt. So don't be in the chat channel telling me that Hodor can't mean what up, because it can mean a lot of different things.
Dude,
all right.
The best page I've ever seen on the internet is just top Hodor quotes, and it's literally just Hodor with different inflections. It's the funniest thing ever.
Doesn't he have like over 600 or something? I don't remember what was the number from. I think Mess was talking about it from Comic-Con. He has over 200, 300 different inflections of Saint Hodor. So I have 73 episodes right here in my mind watched over the last 2 weeks. So yeah, super fresh.
So he looks like the Lannister daughter with the blood coming out of his eyes and ears and nose.
Yes.
But yeah, everything's fresh. So if there's any questions about what happened in the previous seasons, guess who we'll be going to?
I'll probably know.
Are you sure you sure you're fresh, or are you sure you're not like just baked?
No, I'm good.
That could be taken the wrong way, kids. Don't think that.
And no.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Like you having like massive PTSD from seeing all those people die.
I mean, I'm no Reek. Okay, all right.
No one is.
I'm not gonna have no PTSD on a ship.
That's a lot of death and destruction to watch back to back to back to back.
It is.
Oh, by the way, hello to Robert in the chat channel, as well as the Big Papa Matt joined us. Robert says that now he's thinking of Zod, Robot Chicken.
That works.
It can be an evil man sometimes.
I love it.
Let's get into the episode that we're here to talk about. So, this was episode 3, season 7 of Game of Thrones, Queen's Justice. We opened up in Dragonstone, and boy, this is way different than any other season. When you know that you're wrapping up in two seasons, things go by really fast, because prior to this, it would have taken like an entire season for Jon to get to Dragonstone. But that's how we open up. He left Winterfell at the end of the last episode, and he's already in Dragonstone. And we get a nice little interaction between him and Tyrion on the beach. So
I need more Jon Snow Tyrion scenes.
Yes,
that's got to be the fastest sailboat on the 14 seas, man, because that thing just motored. I mean, hey,
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead south, guys, and then.
I mean, he had to have been there in what, like 3 days? Because
you saying Jon Snow's a motorboat and son of a?
I mean, it took 6 seasons for Daenerys to get to Westeros.
Right, it takes Jon Snow 3 days.
there is a reason for that, though, which they covered in the episode. You know,
yeah.
No, I know. But it's still funny that it just seemed to take forever when they were like, well, we don't know when this series is going to end. Oh, we know it's going to end. Let's get everything crammed in these last 2 seasons. So, but yeah, we have a nice little interaction between them meeting each other, a nice little smirk between the two of them where it's like respect between them.
Before you even get there, though, you have them walking up and you have the dragons flying over, and Jon seeing a dragon for the first time. Jon and Davos seeing dragons for the first time, and I love the line that Tyrion says, "I'd say you get used to them, but you never really do."
No.
Yeah.
How do you?
Could you really? Yeah, I mean, especially when they fly that close. I mean, he hit the deck quick.
Yeah, he buzzed the tower. Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling him Goose and
Maverick.
and Maverick. Yeah.
So, and he introduces Missandei to Jon Snow, and they go up into the Dragonstone where Daenerys is there waiting for him. And this was one of my favorite parts of the episode was Missandei talking about all the different titles and stuff like that for Daenerys, and then Davos coming back. This is Jon Snow. He's the king of the North.
I would have loved. The only thing that would have been better if he was just like, "This is Jon Snow. He's a bastard."
Yeah.
I already told Beacon this earlier, but it made me think of A Knight's Tale. You know what I mean?
With Geoffrey Chaucer, the character.
It's like
he's the White Walker slaying.
Yeah, and Robert brings up
that
this season has been full throttle so far, and it really has. Even to go ramp it up with the last episode to come, this episode pretty much slowed back down, but it was still just hitting. So, and Big Papa Matt got mad at us and said, "Don't put horrible Top Gun references in Game of Thrones."
Hey, come on the show and you can prevent stuff like that from happening.
So,
I need to get a mute button every time I hear a Top Gun reference. I'm going to hit the mute button from now on. Is that what you want there, Big Papa Matt?
Go ahead and mute yourself now. So,
but yeah, so they have a pretty nice discussion, Daenerys and Jon, and she wants him to bend the knee, and
he refuses.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you guys think on this whole talk between them?
I still have another. Oh, go ahead. You could say.
I was gonna say you knew he wasn't gonna do bend the knee. I mean that they should have known he wasn't gonna bend the knee. I mean Tyrion had to see that coming.
He can't. He can promise to bend the knee later, but he can't do it right now. I mean, he's got too many people on his side that he has to take care of, and he's got bigger fish to fry than worrying about,
the Seven
Iron
Kingdoms,
Throne.
essentially. Yeah. So,
but
the North won't follow Daenerys. It's not going to happen right now.
Well, I don't know if that's the case. I think they're fighting two different wars right now. Their minds are in two completely different places. Mm-hmm. She's worried about taking the throne, and he's worrying about literally saving humanity right now. I mean, that's. But
if his mind's more in two places than of them to combine, because he's got to worry about Cersei as well, because he's getting those responses from Cersei saying to yield and stuff as well. So
I don't know if is that big of a threat, to be honest, because winter is here, or winter is almost here, and Cersei is hers is a summer army. So at the very least, he doesn't have to worry about her until summer returns, because she's not going to march north into the north during the middle of winter. They wouldn't make it. They wouldn't make it.
No,
they'll die. Can I back up for just a second though? Because we missed a great line with Tyrion and Jon walking up to the throne room to begin with, when Tyrion's talking about Sansa, like, hey, how is she? And like he had to say everything he could to convince him that, hey, I didn't bang your sister. Like, it was never consummated. But then he says the line, she's smarter than she lets on, and Jon says she's starting to let on. And that there is just a fantastic line and a fantastic interaction, kind of. And then we get to see, obviously we'll get to that as we go on in this recap, but we get to see her kind of coming into her own as a leader. So she's much smarter than she lets on.
And that's the other thing that we left out too. A big point. Sorry, I skipped over this scene, but Varys and Melisandre standing up on the cliffs watching, and him going, "Hey, you said to bring him here. Why don't you want to go down there?" I mean, he's poking it, like, get out the real reasons what's going on and stuff, because she does not want to be down there. And as we talked about this on the last podcast, Davos said the next time he sees her, he's killing her.
Mm-hmm.
And so
she knows it. So
but I thought that was very interesting that she said, when he said, leave Westeros, never come back, you should just, and her response is, I have to come back because I have to die in this strange land.
Oh, and you do too, to Varys. Yeah.
Although she didn't specify when.
She knows more, but she knows more about his situation, and I'm waiting to hear the rest of that part of the story.
It made me start to think, how much of those two really know about Jon's lineage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I don't know.
The book,
it's possible, but
the series doesn't make it clear if anyone would.
Poland Reed and Bran, and Bran are the only two that we know for sure know.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a really nice conversation going on in the chat room between Robert and Big Papa Matt about Tyrion, and that Tyrion basically is getting outplayed badly this season. To which Robert responded, he doesn't think that he's totally off his game, but that he's just not stepping it up to that everybody else has had to step it up to match him. And we'll get deeper into those scenes.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we get into those scenes, we can kind of tie into that. But Tyrion doesn't drink as much though, too. So
he doesn't know things when he's not drinking.
Right, he drinks and knows things. That and is a conjunction that brings those two together. So.
Which jumps back into the factor. I don't remember if that's in a later scene when it's on the brooding scene, or if it's when they're walking up the steps, but him talking about what he's been doing and how he was just, most of it was in a drunken blur when he became the Hand and stuff like that. So yeah. And I like that he, has pretty much told Jon that, it was stupid for him to come there, and that he would have told him not to come there as well. But so the one thing that Daenerys points out is that Jon's ancestor bended the knee and gave perpetuity to follow the Targaryen bloodline, which she looks over at Missandei and says, "What's perpetuity mean?" And she's like, "Forever." And
perpetuity. I wrote that down too.
Yeah, Jon got her back though at the end. He's like, well, it goes both ways. If you aren't beholden to the sins of your fathers, and I'm not beholden to the oaths of my ancestors, it's a new world, basically, new playing field. Where do we go from here?
Well, I thought
he was going to point out the fact that as far as everybody's concerned, he's a bastard, so he's not really a Stark. So therefore. He isn't a Stark in the North, so he is not beholden to the oaths of the Starks because he's not a Stark.
Yeah, and that's what he points out. I'm not a Stark. Yeah, and
I think Davos definitely pointed it out.
Oh, big time. And that's what Davos brought up, was that he is a bastard, that he didn't claim this that the people wanted him to be there. And I love that Davos starts slipping a little bit, because this is after the factor of bringing up that the White Walkers are out there. To which John said from the get-go when he was going to be going over there, they're not going to believe him about it. And they said, show him. And, he has nothing to show. He's going on.
Yeah.
So he's going on faith, which is funny because that's what Daenerys talks about that she believes in, is faith in herself. And sometimes it's kind of a counterintuitive thing where he's trying to tell her have faith and she's only having faith in herself. I felt, let's see what you guys thought. I felt Dany was getting a little too powerful in her own mind during that conversation for the first time. Like she was really.
I don't think so, because you could see in the back facial features that she seemed like she was a little insecure, but she is now talking to the first monarch that she's having to deal with, and so she's got to put forth a
more real
and
I disagree. I think she's actually being pretty consistent with the way that she's reacted to any leader that she's come up against. What I think is different is she's in Westeros now. She's not in Braavos. She's not she's not on the other side of the narrow sea. I mean, she is in Westeros, and it's going to require her to have a different approach to things.
Yeah. Well, this is also her first experience meeting anyone, I think, from the North.
Robert said she was flexing.
Exactly. But also,
yes.
I mean, I don't think she realizes just how stubborn the men of the North are. I mean, let's face it. They are probably the most stubborn of all the houses in Westeros, so it's going to be like going up against a brick wall of will for her.
Right.
So...
And John hasn't always been really stubborn. He's just had to get that way as time has gone on.
No, he was pretty.
He's always been that way.
I don't think he was super stubborn.
No, he's been pretty damn stubborn. He's pretty consistently stubborn.
When it came to Ned, though, he never was. When Ned told him go do this or go.
Because he was an obedient son for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So, but yeah, I do like the last little thing from that scene. John's kind of little stab remark at Daenerys that he can't trust her as far as he can throw her because he doesn't know her, and his response at the very least, you're better than Cersei. Which
that's not saying a whole lot, though.
No, it's not. But
but you can't be worse than a person that murders thousands and thousands of people just to get what they want in the most horrific ways that she can imagine. You're not that bad.
Well, hey,
at least
she's no Ramsay Snow, So
well, and Matt brought up that she was speaking. It wasn't so much flexing, but that she was speaking with someone who isn't after the same thing she is, and
no.
She doesn't feel like it made it seem like she doesn't feel like John has anything to bring to the table because they even threw that back at him with what are you going to bring? Look what we have. Why do we need you? And that it's just
shout out to Marco in the chat channel, by the way.
Yes, welcome Marco. Thank you.
Yeah, but while we're talking about Dany, did anyone else think that her hair is not so much? At least in this episode, she didn't have so much of the white hair. It's kind of like
golden a little bit. Yeah,
looked a little blonde.
It's that winter weather.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it had a darker accent to it. Like
it's the sea salt. The air from the sea. It gives her hair a little bit more blonde to it.
Yeah, it looked more blonde than it did. It's all the other seasons. It was bright white. This season or this episode, it looked more goldeny. I don't know.
Are we going to get into a conversation about dyeing things?
Doesn't matter to me. I'm just
to let you guys know into a little background of Malice Corp. When Beacon was binging the show, what was this? You were in about the second or third season, and we start getting these comments.
Oh, go ahead.
How the heck are they getting dye? Where is this all
Yeah. I had this conversation about dye because I don't know, I must have missed the scene where Sansa was dyeing her hair, and then the red lady, her hair was way blacker than it should be, and so yeah. And then of course there's the whole scene where they're washing her hair and getting all the dye out of it. So yes, it makes sense now.
They're giving me a hard time in the chat channel about caring about her hair. Thanks for explaining it.
We got to move on. Yeah.
So let's move on. So yeah, they finally end that conversation when Varys comes in to tell Daenerys about what happened with Euron in last week's episode. And once again, the jumps of speed that we have for travel now in these episodes, because we see that Reek, Theon, is saved by some others. And
who
they
called him out on his cowardice.
Oh, yeah. No, I tried. He wouldn't be alive if you tried.
Yeah,
so.
Euron would not have left him alive if he had gone after him to save Yara.
And then we jump straight into Euron returning to King's Landing to a hero's welcome, bringing the two sand snakes with him and Yara.
Mm-hmm. Can I hashtag this one?
Go for it.
Hashtag biggest balls in Westeros.
Because he was just.
Wow.
He wrote in like he was a rock star, dude.
He was strutting, man. He
rubbing it in Yara's face, and
wanting to
the
rub
last
it in
person.
Cersei's face.
Well, that's the funny thing is the last person to really. Last person to really rub it in and walk around proud like that and stuff got his head crushed.
Mm-hmm.
So Oberyn was the last person to have that kind of high and mighty walkabout, and which they talk about later in the episode. But yeah, then we find out what his prize to Cersei was, because he said he'd go out and get her a gift, and that was the Sand Snake. So, which killed off her only daughter, and so he presented to them. And brought up the factor of now he basically wants what he wanted in the first episode, which was to become the king, to become head. And I love how Cersei just kind of shrugs him off, like you'll get what you want, but not until this is all over. So she's backhanding again, like she always does. But what do you guys think in terms of the? Think it's going to come back and bite him, and or you think it's going to delve deeper into him getting more stuff for Cersei? Or
I don't know. It's going to bite him eventually when Jaime gets pissed enough. Whoa!
She can tug that.
Yeah, dude, you went full Hodor on us.
I heard, and then something about tugging it.
I said she can only tug him along, so lead him along so long before he just kind of lashes back. And I think that she did the worst possible thing she could do. She ran out and let everybody know what she was been doing. Which besides, I'm gonna take my entire fleet. We're just gonna go ahead and
I don't know what just happened, but dude, that was like possession. That was full on three-eyed raven possession right there. Okay. Hopefully you all saw that in the chat channel. But I think I understood what you're saying. I mean, she done messed up by letting the world know what's been going on, and she's just really brazen with not afraid to just
Well, I think the point he was making was that she told him she'd do one thing, he went and did it for what she would do, and then she still didn't pay off, and so eventually Euron's going to get frustrated with it and take his toys and go home.
Right.
Type of thing. Which if they lose that fleet, that's going to hurt Cersei a lot. To answer Marco's question, he asked how we liked the episode. We love the episode. That's why we're having fun talking about it. And I do want to thank Marco for coming in. He's in Malaysia joining us. So guys, you can join us anywhere in the world, and we'll have fun with these chats. So, so you don't have to be just in our time zone.
No, we appreciate it.
We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next scene we get is Cersei talking to the sand snakes in the dungeon. I think this is one of the big scenes of the episode, because she is just playing the whole I have the upper hand card at this point.
Savage. Hashtag savage.
Well,
I mean,
this is what my thoughts I want to be. How much of this is a mental game? You know, how much of this is
all a mental game?
Well, in the poison factor, knowing that trying to kill her daughter the same way that her daughter was killed with the poisonous kiss and everything, and asking how long is it going to take and making her sit there and watch it. How much is a mental game where maybe she hasn't even given the poison to her yet? She's just acting like she did, so that they're being more, you know, that's what's eating at me on that is do you think that the poison was there and by the next episode the daughter's going to be already turning and dying, or do you think it's going to be one of those where they're really just playing even worse mind games with each other?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that character's just done. She's going to keep Ilaria alive, I think, but I think she's done. I think they're done with the daughter. Is my thought.
Yeah, like Margot said, I love that performance from Ilaria, the actress. Yeah, that scene. I mean, without even being able to say anything, just the physical reaction, the physical acting that was portrayed was fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Having to watch Robert brought in, not just having to watch her rot, but have her rot to the bone too.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty gruesome. I mean, if to play devil's advocate, I guess it is fitting. Although she'll find out. Well, yeah, we'll get to that in the end about her other child, but yeah, I mean, it's the difference is she didn't have to watch. You know, Jamie had to watch Marcel's die, but not Cersei. It's not like the Joffrey situation, you know.
Well, it's not like the Joffrey situation, but it's an even deeper connection, because she even brought up that factor of this was her only daughter, and it was the one child that she didn't even let the wet nurse take away. Can
I tell you what I thought was going to happen?
What's that?
I thought there was going to be a situation involving the mountain.
Well, she brought that point up,
because that would have been wow. Whew.
She did.
Although I guess she could still kill Ilaria that way. So
have the mountain crush her head like a little.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Oh, what were you thinking?
I was thinking the way that her sister died.
Oh, okay.
Much more graphic, much more.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna get dirty."
Maybe. I think Cersei's gonna keep Ilaria alive though for a long time, or as long as she can.
The mountains play toy. Yes, Robert.
Yeah, 2-0 for Cersei for now. Well played, is what Marco said. So yeah, she's I
don't know that she's 2-0 because she has lost all three of her children.
Yeah.
So and her dad.
Okay, so she's
for the season. She's 2-0 for the season.
Oh, for the season. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. She's making up for lost ground.
In the revenge factor. Yeah, she's 2-0 for the revenge factor.
Absolutely. That is for sure true.
But she will not go 3-0. She can't. We'll get to the end when we get to the end.
Yeah. And then we get I know one of your favorite moments. It actually happened a little bit before this, but when the grandioseness of Euron is happening and saying how he's going to lead the fleet while Jaime's going to lead the land army. Euron prods Jaime a little bit.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
He wants love making tips from Jaime. Yeah. To which that's why I think that his death is going to end with the golden hand up bum.
I don't know if he'll make it to the end of the series. I honestly don't, but he's so off the wall crazy that you almost want him to get to the end just to see what he's gonna do. You know, I don't think he cares honestly if he dies, you know, because like he was telling Jamie, he's like, well, maybe they'll cheer for your head, maybe they'll cheer for my head. I think they just want to cheer for severed heads, you know, like they don't even care who dies at this point. They just are bloodthirsty and they want, you know, talking about the
but that's where I think that both of them are totally wrong. And obviously that's not Danny's approach to things. I don't think that's what the people want. I think they want resolution to that family because it's a known fact that neither one of those two are well liked. Probably none of the actually throw all three of them into that mix. Nobody likes any of them. So I think they will be in much relief when they have a new ruler.
Oh yeah. And if you guys saw in the chat channel, Jack, because he was getting possessed, jumped out and made a poll that should be popping up somewhere.
Right there.
Little I, lowercase I will pop up, and it's asking, did Cersei really poison Ilaria's daughter? So just on the factor of if she's playing the mind games or not. So
mind games.
And then we go into one of my favorite other parts of the episode where we have somebody from Bravos coming to talk to Cersei about the things going on there. And it's Sherlock's brother from Sherlock. So that's why I got excited.
I don't remember. Did I miss that part?
Where are we at? Are we at we're at isn't the next scene after that?
Oh no, the next scene after that is actually Cersei and Jamie getting back together.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I thought we were so done with that.
Yeah.
They're not even hiding.
Hey, talk about bending the knee.
Yeah. If I'm going to take away anything from that I found not enjoyable, but just her attitude of I'm going to do what I want and everyone else can basically suck it. You know, when she opens the door and the maid's standing right there, and you can tell the maid is just like, oh, you know, like, hello. Okay, I'm going to go get fresh linens for, you know, so clearly they're not being subtle about it anymore. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Sorry, we're telling Tim to take care of something.
Hit the eject button.
So yeah, guys, come watch it live when we chat, but be weary.
Try to be respectful at the same time. I know this is some sensitive topics, and what happens in the chat channel stays in the chat channel, but sometimes it leaves the chat channel. So sorry. Try to it's okay to comment, please. We by all means, but let's
Yeah, we got Robert saying Cersei will never be happy or satisfied. She can conquer all and still won't be. She can conquer all.
I conquer
Yeah.
all. Well, see, that's the difference between Cersei and Dany is I think Cersei would be more than happy to be the Queen of Ashes as long as she's a queen. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I think she would have wanted an actual proper dominance and stuff like that. But now that her whole family's gone, she wants everybody else to burn too.
Pretty much.
So,
she is more than willing to take down everything, you know, in the name.
Yeah. Then we jump into the scene where the actor that plays Sherlock's brother from the show Sherlock is from Bravos and talking about how basically
the Iron
Daenerys,
okay,
that Dany just pretty much effed up their whole livelihood.
Yeah.
And so
that was probably one of Cersei's more brilliant, not manipulations, but just straight out.
Oh, the guy from the Iron Bank is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Well, he was from Bravos, but yeah, they said a visitor from Bravos.
She channeled Tywin in that scene,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And he says that. He says your father taught you well or something like that.
Yeah. Now,
you
of
sound
course,
like your father. Yeah.
I thought she was full of crap at that point when she said, you know, when you leave tomorrow, you're going to have your gold. And I'm like, no, she's not.
Did she say, give me a fortnight or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, good luck.
Yeah, give me a day and I'll have your gold. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, who ate their words? All of us.
that's why I said hashtag Lannisters don't always pay their debts, because that's going to be a hard bill to pay. Although obviously they, with what happens at the end, hey, maybe they come across a few gold dragoons, but who knows?
Fortnite, according to Jack, is actually 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So.
I'm pretty sure that's what I'm pretty sure they said a fortnight. Yeah,
I think they did. Yeah.
So, and then we get into another great what you asked for, Beacon, more Tyrion and Jon on the cliff.
I hope they have more this season. Because the two of them, I don't know what it is about the two of them, but they're fantastic.
Oh, and that's the brooding scene.
Yes, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this
Tyrion and Jon brooding scene. I want to brood, but you do it so much better than I do.
Well, just when he's just walking out there and you're making it difficult. You look a lot better brooding than I do, and you make me feel like I'm failing at brooding over failing.
Yeah.
And
this basically is the scene where Tyrion's really the mediator here, for sure, because he goes to Jon and Jon feels like he's trapped, like he can't leave, like he's already a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and he's like, no, not a prisoner. But then I like how he just lays it out for him. He's like, you're asking, like, did you really think coming down here and asking a woman that you've never met, who's never met you, to believe this outlandish tale and send her troops up to support a war she doesn't believe in? Like, you're asking the ridiculous, essentially. And then he, that it's like that parent going, okay, well, what can I give you? What,
right.
And then he's like, and you see the light come on, like, oh
yeah, there's something else I had to come down here to ask you.
Yeah.
I totally forgot because I was too busy brooding over having to bend the knee to yeah. God,
but
dude,
no,
my aunt.
About that brooding thing though, the other great quote from that scene was from Jon, and he's asking, he's listing off all the problems that he has, and Tyrion is like, good question, and he's like, I know it's a good question. I'm looking for an answer. Give me an answer.
Tyrion confirmed Jon is the top tier brooder.
Yeah.
Which we already knew, but
yeah, and the other thing that I'll get to later.
Oh, Big Papa Matt said that snow is too soft. Get your dragon glass and get back to the north.
I don't
get out of the way of Danny. Come on.
I don't think Jon is going back to the north for a while. Personally, I think he's in Dragonstone the rest of the season.
Ooh.
Well, he's definitely not going back until he bends knee.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Or works out an arrangement of some sort with Daenerys.
Yes.
Because we know.
Waits till she jumps on the dragon to go burn all the ships that are now sitting in front of Castle Rock. But we'll get there. Sorry.
We know at some point he's going to still be down there when Theon arrives. I don't know where they meet, but we know they meet at some point, and it ain't in the north. It's definitely down on one of the beaches.
That would make sense.
So at some point they're going to meet, and we don't know when that point is going to be. At what point between now and the
couples, yeah. If not next episode, probably the one after that.
Yeah.
You're right, because that's going to happen, and that's
that's going to be a beatdown, I think. And poor Theon.
No, poor Reek.
Reek, whatever you want to call him. And will someone just please kill that poor guy already?
Matt says that you're wrong, Sarah, that Danny will kick him out when Sansa sends a raven for help.
Sansa's not sending a raven for help. Nah.
But
he has Lord Baelish. Why would she?
But Tyrion gets out of Jon what he needs, which is the dragon glass.
He needs an army too, but
and so he goes to Daenerys and tells it, and I love the point that you were making earlier, Super Hoovian, about the whole factor of having to deal with stubborn men in Westeros. It's almost like Daenerys is trying to get stubborn herself, because she almost doesn't want to give like why should I give him this? Why, she was pushing against Tyrion a little bit, and he's just like, you gotta give something to make this.
Yeah, exactly, because you gotta give him something, and then you're gonna show it's like a gesture of good faith, and that is needed to break a little bit of the stubborn will.
And she's holding on to something that she doesn't need, because he even makes the point of like, it's worthless to you.
Yeah.
Give it to him. If it works for him, awesome. If it doesn't work, then
you've lost nothing.
Yeah. So, but I love how she's getting that little bit of a stubborn streak as well. And I think it's just that factor of that he wouldn't bend the knee, that she's like, I don't want it.
Yeah, they act like they're family. Jeez.
Well,
hey.
Yeah. What was the comment earlier? First he won't bend the knee, and now he's telling me I'm a child.
Yeah.
He's calling.
I believe he's calling all of us children.
Figure of speech, and then he used a lot of big words this episode. When he was talking about the dragon glass, he's like, "It will kill them, stop them, harm them." I didn't get the exact vernacular, but it will do something to them. Like he didn't.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even know what he was explaining, because I think there's still a small part of him that doesn't want it to be true.
Well, and they're and the chat channel's bringing up all the factor of that once Jon is outed as his true bloodline is, then this is all going to change. I don't know if it is. It could cause more.
Could cause more strife between the two of them. Although does Jon really want it? And that's the whole thing.
I don't think he does. Jon just wants to keep people safe. I don't think he wants the
crown. No.
Yeah.
Well, we can get to speculation at some point, but Targaryens have been connecting bloodlines for thousands and thousands of years. So yeah, you could get both of them on the throne.
And I think one of the funniest scenes of the episode happened in that scene when Tyrion was asking Daenerys for the dragonglass bird, and I can't remember what the exact statement was. I don't know if you guys have the notes of that, but when he said it, and she's like, "Who said that?" And he's like, "I don't."
Oh yeah, I have it. It's what wise man said that? I don't remember. Well, are you trying to pass off your own statements as ancient wisdom? I would never do that. To
you. Yeah. I would do it to Miss Sandy, but not to you.
Yeah. But that was pretty funny. So they have good banter, and it's nice to see that she's still listening to him even after his inability, I guess you could say, to predict Euron's attack on their fleet. And really that's kind of on all of them,
yeah, and Marco brought up the fact that Dany respects Jon but doesn't show it. I think she showed it a little bit more when she came down the steps to talk to Jon about.
Think about this: she's willing to talk to him on a balcony.
Yes, alone,
like over a cliff, alone.
Yeah. Alone.
So obviously, there's a sign of respect, because she never did that in Bravos.
No, she did not.
Not without having Grey Worm or Jarn or someone near her. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe the dragons might have come and saved her before she hit the rocks, but that's a bit of a stretch. It was still a risk.
Yeah.
And there is that good point too. We forgot to mention that she questioned Tyrion about I don't remember if she questioned Tyrion, but she questioned someone about what the dagger in the heart means. I think it was Tyrion.
Yeah, she's like, did you hear him say that? And that's the funny thing, is he's talking about the undead, and
there's Jon Snow right there.
He's not a white, but he came back from the dead. But I almost wonder if that would have created even more respect with Daenerys and willing to help out, because she does respect the Red Lady, because of the Lord of the Light. And,
she does dig guys with scars.
Yeah. I thought Melisande, or the Red Lady or whatever, I thought she had told them that she resurrected Jon. She didn't.
No, she didn't.
That would have been helpful information for her to share, I should say, before taking off for Volantis, or however you say that stupid city.
Volante life with.
Well, I mean, she mentioned the factor that she had done her purpose there for the time being, and that was bringing fire and ice together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So.
Has to be fire and ice.
which is
So.
another reason why I think John's going to be there the rest of the season.
We'll see.
Well, and I think the cool thing is if that's what happens,
I mean, he can get back to Winterfell.
Sansa a lot of time to.
He can bounce back to Winterfell.
No, and like that, or you could ride a dragon back. But yeah, that's
yeah. So we get our first jump to Winterfell this episode.
Yeah,
and
where they're basically going over supplies.
Well, you see Sansa dealing with running things, and she's doing a good. I mean, she's making good points and stuff, but it's still just everything's being thrown at her.
Right.
I mean, yeah, Robert.
It is.
We're not
moving along.
We finally get to see that scene from the trailer about, don't fight this war, don't fight that war. You fight every war in your mind, in your head, any outcome.
In your mind, in your head, every outcome.
You have to wonder, does
that way you know it's coming.
Or Littlefinger, does he have some kind of mystical ability or something to be able to see?
I don't think he's mystical, but he's got his swagger. He's almost hypnotic. He's hypnotic. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He knows how to get into people's minds and get them to do stuff for him when he doesn't have to do it. And that's what he kind of start doing to Sansa.
Except for John. He did take that a little too far. You should have just stopped at I loved your mother and left it there. Or I loved Caitlyn.
Exactly. But you can see how far. I mean, it goes back to that comment that John made earlier that you guys were saying about that she's starting to show it. What was it that Beacon? What was it that Tyrion said about Sansa?
Oh yeah. That was from the very beginning that she's smarter than she lets on.
Yeah, and he's like she's starting.
And then John says she's starting to let on.
So you see in that just that first like 2 minutes that how smart she's gotten. How because she's like, why isn't there leather on that? We need to do this immediately, otherwise we're going to be dealing with food shortages. So she is much smarter than she has come.
She's her mother's child. Yeah, she's her mother.
And that was the craziest thing that you bring that up. I know they're not related in real life or anything, but when you saw her walking with them talking about that stuff, it looked like Caitlyn. The way that she was carrying herself, the way she was talking, she totally came off as Catelyn Stark in my mind. And I like that you mentioned that because that's one thing that jumped into my thoughts as soon as I saw her walking through those stables.
Absolutely. Right. What was the next scene? Or where do we? Because we got to be getting close to.
That's when Bran arrives.
That's when Bran returns, and once again, coming from the Wall, already in Winterfell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Travel is faster now.
Yeah.
Took them a whole season to get there, to get to the
They
Wall.
got Uber in Westeros. I'm telling you, Uber is now in Westeros.
Jeez, man.
But
so family reunion.
It was not as emotional as I thought it was going to be. Like he was so calm. He was just like, "Hello, Sansa." Like he'd been gone for a week.
Oh, he's in a different headspace now for sure.
Totally is, and I get that. But I think that she didn't quite know how to handle that. Like she was expecting more.
I think all of his emotional being that was any part left of him that wasn't the three-eyed raven, was gone when Hodor was gone.
I agree because can we talk about that scene? I mean, where he's talking about I'm now the three-eyed raven. She's like, I don't even know what that is, and he goes right to like, you look so beautiful on your wedding night.
Yeah,
like,
he was like, it's
whoa, dude! Like, couldn't you have just like gone wide-eyed and gone into an animal or something, or been like, here, let me show you? No, you gotta talk about like, oh yeah, you know what? By the way, I saw you got raped.
Yeah,
rape's bad, kids, but there's brutal way to. But at the same time, what better? I mean. Do you think she knows he's for real now? I would say so.
Yeah,
she knows something's up. She knows there's something that she mentions what I don't know what that means when he says I'm a three-eyed raven. She's like, what the but she knows there's something she's because I think didn't she ask like, how do you know all this stuff? And he's like,
yeah, and he's like, well, it's I can see everything, and I'm the the
Everything.
conscious or whatever.
Everything that has happened, that is happening,
and will happen, didn't he? Because he can kind of see the future, can't he?
only
the past through the werewood trees.
No, he does see visions of because
he's visions of the future. Because remember the very first episode, he's seeing the army of whites coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And and they do talk about John a little bit. That was there too. So they were wishing that John was there.
Well, yeah, because Bran says I need to talk to John. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Robert said that Bran ate way too many special mushrooms.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
hopefully maybe they'll get a letter to John and let him know that at least Bran's there. Maybe that'll get him back to the north. Who knows? So we'll see.
And Matt makes a really good point in the because if he showed her, she would have had to relive it. He doesn't know how to relate all the images and information he is getting now.
Right. I'm just saying there's other ways to show than going to that one. You know, you didn't have to go there. You could have gone somewhere else. Like,
right.
But man, brutal.
Like I said, the emotion is not there anymore. So I don't think he's seeing that as a I shouldn't talk about this. It's just like.
But we also know that that's the thing that she mentioned it in last episode to Littlefinger, like that she still feels like pain from it. I mean, it's on her mind, it's in her head. So for him to say that, it is relating to something that is still in her, it's still affecting her mentally and even physically, I guess. So we can move along.
Yeah. And then that's this. I love this point that Matt brought up. Question is, can he see John's future now that he's died? We haven't seen.
Have to wait and see. Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't even thought about that, and we haven't seen anything that's indicating that he could or he couldn't. So,
wow. Yeah, and obviously, Jack's saying that Bran is planning on telling John who he really is. Absolutely. I think either that or he's going to go find Holland Reed to get that second confirmation that he is who he is. So
that would be a good way to bring him back.
Or the Red Lady or whatever. Well, no, they're not going to get her. She got on for a while.
So our next scene, we find out the outcome of the scraping of Jorah Mormont. In last episode.
I can't believe that worked, dude. I mean, like, I literally cannot believe that worked.
Well, I love that the test to see if he's infected or not is a little poking stick.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. And he's like,
I loved you guys' conversation last week too. That Ramsay would have loved. See, he should have been a maester, so he could treat the dragon people. Or the stone people, my bad. Yeah, the dragon scale, dragonstone, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. The chat channel's popping, by the way.
Yeah, Matt brought up another good point, which is why he wants to speak with Bran, tell him his past because his future is no longer predetermined.
Ooh, damn. Good stuff.
Yeah, it would be nice if that person was sitting here in the chat talking.
Right?
But yeah, so and he didn't get kicked out of the Citadel. I think that was the biggest point.
No, but it paints back to what we've been saying the last couple podcasts, and it's that it's the Archmaester. He knows more of what's going on than what's going on, and he's kind of pushing Sam that way. But it's doing that like, you go do this, but I'm gonna look this other way. I'm gonna. I'm so afraid to look at the chat channel.
No, Big Papa Matt said Sam has now become a trophy of Professor Slughorn. If you didn't know, the actor that's playing the Maester, the Archmaester, is Professor Slughorn from the Harry Potter movie.
And Jack. Well, I don't think of him as Professor Slughorn from Harry Potter. I think of him as the guy that ran Moulin Rouge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was the same guy. No, not that. That's the scene you remember. How is he not just the redhead dressed up singing like a virgin to the Duke? I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm never
Did
gonna not see that.
We
now.
lost Beacon.
I'm never gonna not see that now.
Jack brought up the point that grayscale is extremely painful when touched, so a touch from the wand would make him scream if he was still infected. So that's why.
Oh, okay.
Which it shows Jorah's pain tolerance as well, because he asks him, "Does that hurt?" And he's like, "Yeah, more than you would think." So, or something along those lines.
But anyways, but Jorah's out, and it looks like is going to be going and finding out where Dany is and meeting back up with her.
Which Beacon? This is something I want to. So, last episode was called Stormborn,
Right.
and have we heard Daenerys called that before? Because that's what Jorah says. He's got. Because I don't know.
It's been
I
like
watched the other
many. I'm almost every time that she says her name, she says, "I'm Daenerys Stormborn, of the Targaryens," or
okay.
Daenerys Targaryen, Stormborn Targaryen, whatever. And then she goes into her long spiel, Khaleesi of the,
Yeah. She's got like 50 titles. That
Breaker of
she really
Chains.
Yeah.
Mother of Dragons.
Because that's what he said. That was his. And I love the handshake between him and Sam, because it's almost. It's gratitude, but at the same time, it's like, well, could the grayscale still be there? You know, that's how it felt to me. Was they like hesitated to shake hands at first, and I just felt like, well, it could, you know, and I know the factor of it was that Jorah had reached out to him before, but they couldn't touch before when in the first episode when he reached his arm out and was like, you need to do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting to see how that plays into the final half of the season. What is he going to bring to her at this point? You know,
a awesome sword fighting. Jorah's.
Well, yeah, he is.
Remember, he's
a good warrior. We're not. Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna bring her a general for the Dothraki and the Unsullied, a true general. So, which is what Cersei has right now with Jaime, and Daenerys does not have.
No, because I mean Tyrion is good with strategy, yeah, but he's not going to be your general, you know.
No, and that's what's lacking, and that's where we learn that that's what's lacking in the next scene, because the next scene one is Daenerys talking about how she's going to go out and find Euron, and the only way that they can she was going to send the dragons, but she would have to go with the dragons because they don't know where Euron could be and how long it would take to find him. But
that's smart. Yeah, they talk her down from that, but oh man, did they get screwed? They got screwed in going.
Yeah, well,
can we talk about Tyrion's Underground Railroad for whores, though? Because that,
yes,
I had to find a way to get them in. Like,
yeah,
I made a little something for myself.
That was funny, and it looked good.
It would have worked it would have worked so great if Jaime had it.
Jaime saw it coming. He knew they were going to come. I don't think he knew that's how they were going to come, but they were outsmarted. They pulled their army from Rock, and they had Euron waiting there to burn all the ships.
But now Daenerys knows where Euron's fleet is.
Yes, this is true.
So,
or she will know. We're assuming that
she will very quickly.
Yeah, because Grey Worm is more than likely going to send her a message and let her know. And so she'll be able to at least plot the course, because they'll be coming from Casterly Rock, we assume, back to King's Landing. So,
well, yeah, or she can hop on the dragon, fly on over, burn down their freaking fleet,
and do it at night so you don't see her coming. You know,
I don't think she cares about night or day. She'll just burn them all down.
I mean,
which is what she needs to do because she's the freaking dragon.
Yeah, but I mean, you see how. And credit to Euron for what he's done on the sea, but you see how freaking smart Jaime is with war tactics and stuff like that. Because
he pulled all of them, and they're at Highgarden, and that's
it's the funniest thing because last episode when Tyrion's like, we're going after Casterly Rock, and everybody gets this like look like, oh, they'll never expect that, and this is a great plan. You know, they downright expected it and left the least amount of people that they needed to have in there so that they could come around and just take Daenerys' army from behind. Waiting for a response from somebody. But
there you go. Okay. Well, I don't know right now if they're thinking about taking the army from behind. This was Jaime's plan on fulfilling the Lannisters.
Yeah,
debt.
but
they're taking Highgarden.
But Grey Worm, I know, but Grey Worm is saying they're like, oh, we've killed them all. We've taken care of.
Well, they took care of.
And he's like, there should be more. There should be more here. And he's like, where are they? And then he stands up and he looks out and you see Euron's fleet out there just wiping out what's left of Daenerys' fleet that's left out there.
Yeah, and Jaime's a slow learner. He does come around eventually.
This chat's going so fast that I can't see what's going on.
Some of it you don't want to.
You guys, once again, guys, when you're here live, the chat, thank you so much to the people that are in the chat room. It does make this an even better discussion.
I'm literally dying right now. I mean, oh my gosh. I've said it like twice in the channel. You guys are slaying me. Whew. Oh man, this is so funny.
Yeah, we've got from Jack Malice that Tyrion's a strategist and he's a tactician. And I'm going to skip that.
And then he says, yeah, but attacking ships at night from the sky never works.
Yeah.
Then he says it's an extremely bad naval tactic. And Jack would know because he plays a heck of a lot of World of Warships. So I trust his judgment.
Two completely different.
Big Papa Matt brings up the Grey Worm is going to be coming back with his tail between his legs after Cersei and Euron gave him and the Unsullied the smackdown, which basically is what happened in that episode.
Yeah. Their fleet is gone. You know.
Yeah, which means how the heck is the Unsullied going to get back is the other question, because they don't have they're basically going to have to hold on to Casterly. Yeah. Well, they're going to sit there and hold on to Casterly Rock, and nobody else knows about the sewer entrance except Tyrion.
Yeah.
Right. And now they probably can't go out that way. I don't know exactly where that tunnel is compared to where the fleet is right now, if they can just escape out the way they came, but
who knows?
Probably not.
We'll have to
see. And that's what Robert brought up, is that Jaime didn't know about the tunnel, so he's probably thinking more of Daenerys' troops are dead than what they are.
Exactly.
Robert did just say that, yeah, they could flee out that tunnel, but yeah, it just depends on where the tunnel is. I don't
Yeah, I just wanted to catch up a little bit for you guys that can't see the Marco brings up a good point. Now it's the Dothraki's turn to make it even. So we still the Dothraki haven't even gone into the fight yet.
Got over 40,000 Dothraki screamers, okay? It's gonna be a freaking bloodbath once they can.
Yeah, well, I mean, Daenerys has been kicked, but she's not done like by any means, you know. So Casterly Rock, that was a little bit of a blow because obviously they lost more of their fleet, and it wasn't the blow to the Lannisters like they thought. They didn't wipe out as many troops as they thought they would have.
Well, what's going on with these last two episodes more and more is now John's whole thing of you need me and I need you is going to become more and more true, because as they keep losing stuff, John's going to be the only one that's going to have something to bring back. And to point out something that's the next scene we see when he asks where all the Lannisters, and this is the last scene of the episode. You see John with all the Lannisters, the Queen's army going to take, or Jaime with the Queen's army to go take the Tyrells. And we answered our question from last week: would the Tullys or the
Tarleys
turn against the Tyrells? And clearly they did, because they're there riding along with Jaime.
So
and when I saw the scene at first, I thought Elena was going to jump, because I was like, oh, she's like, oh, screw this. It's done.
Nope. And she won that scene. She
So talk about that. What are your thoughts on
just straight
what-
out owned that scene with
I
Jamie.
wish I could quote her final words, but I was told that it is not YouTube appropriate. So, but she does call Joffrey exactly what he is.
Exactly.
He was a little.
Even when she knows she's gonna die, she doesn't hold anything back. And I just love how she slid it in right at the end. You know, she looks at it and she's like, "Is it gonna hurt?" And Jamie's like, "No." You know, like he has more respect for her than that. He's like, I talked her out of all the things that she wanted to do to you." And this is, you know, clearly they have no idea that she actually orchestrated Joffrey's death. So this is just for the betrayal of going behind her back and joining the rebellion. And Cersei wanted to do all these horrible things to her. And then she drinks the poison wine, and then she's like, "Good, because I would hate to suffer like your son did, and I would hate to be clawing at my throat and just throwing it in his face, everything that Joffrey went through." And then she goes, "You know, I've done a lot of horrible things, and but I don't regret that one. I don't regret killing your son and being the one that was, you know." And then you could see it on his face and realizing that now it's too late. There's no more revenge. You've already given her the poison wine and you can't do anything about it. And she wins. Even though it's her death scene, she wins.
Well, and she wins by the factor that she doesn't have to take poison that's gonna make her
suffer,
go through pain. It's like, no, I got you. I'm gonna let you have a peaceful death because
and in a way she gets her revenge in a way. Yeah, Cersei doesn't die, but Cersei's already lost everything and is eventually gonna lose even more. But she's already lost everything. And she gets to just stick it to her one more time. And she's an old lady, dude. What has she got to? I mean, she's lived her life. She's got no heirs.
She mentioned that in the last episode. She has nothing left. So,
so that knowing that Cersei now will know the truth is going to be just as sweet, because there's not a damn thing she can do about it, and she's going to wish that she hadn't poisoned her.
There's nothing that she can do. But it's going to be sweet in the factor that Cersei hates being wrong, and now she's going to know that she was wrong about.
I mean, like you said, she's wanted Tyrion dead for a long time, and I can't remember if they brought it up in the show. You can tell me, Beacon, but in the books, Cersei was given a prophecy when she was a teenager before all of this happened. Have they brought that up in the show?
Yeah, they did, because they showed the one clip of her going in to see the witch.
Right. So that's the thing. Yeah. So Tyrion has been predicted to be her downfall. So,
but
that's
the win. This is where the win that you guys didn't point out, and I think this is what Jack's trying to point out in the chat room right now, because he said more importantly, she confessed that she killed Joffrey, proving Tyrion had nothing to do with it. The win here is that wedge that's being driven even deeper between Jaime and Cersei now, because she knows. You saw it in Jaime's face when he saw that it was her that did it. Jaime's face was like, we accused the wrong person. And of course, we know that Jaime probably didn't think 100% that Tyrion did it, but he had to go with
why he freed him.
That's why he freed him. I don't think Jaime ever really believed Tyrion did it, but it doesn't matter, because Cersei has hated Tyrion since the day he was born, and killed her mother, and she's wanted him dead ever since. And so
but the factor that somebody actually claimed that they did it puts even more into. It goes to that one comment she said, she's a mad woman. She's crazy.
Oh yeah, she told him out on everything,
and really now this is going to drive, and I think it's going more towards what Jack was saying a couple weeks ago on the first episode, where the person that's going to end up taking Cersei down, that's going to end up killing Cersei, is probably going to end up being Jaime.
Yeah. I see it.
And I see it more and more as the stuff goes.
If it's not Jaime, it's going to be Tyrion.
There's a lot of good stuff in the chat channel right now. I just have to say, they're talking a lot about tactics and strategy. Big Pop Matt says that the Dothraki need to fight the dead with Jon Snow and let Tyrion and Joran take the troops south, which is an awesome point. And the other point was that now that Joran's coming back to the Queen, he's going to bring a whole new level of strategy, because he's going to do the unpredictable. And he's going to bring strategy that's different than Tyrion. And Tyrion's siblings know his strategies. So that's going to be the game changer when he returns is what Big Papa Matt is predicting. So good stuff there.
Yeah, Marco just chimed in. Yeah, I agree. Now Jamie's starting to see who Cersei truly is. And I think he was already starting to see that a little bit last season when she took over the throne and stuff, and you could see him standing there going like, what the hell are we got ourselves into type of thing. But with each step, he's realizing he may have to be not only the killer of the Mad King, but the Queen Slave.
Killer of the Mad Queen.
Yeah.
Well, she is the Mad Queen. I mean,
Mhm.
at this way, it's not Daenerys. You know, everyone's worried about Daenerys slipping into her father's role. No, you've got the Mad Queen. You've got, I mean, she may not have been born of incest, but she has completely lost it. So.
Well, we're 10 minutes over what we'd like to go to. We can probably go a lot deeper on this, but guys, thank you so much for joining the chat. We are going to be back here next week around the same time, either 8 or 9. We'll send out those tweets and let you know when we're going to be starting, but we'll for sure be here next Sunday. Wanted to thank everybody for coming. Just to point out, if you guys saw behind me, I got a nice little new decoration for the Game of Thrones things, my Stark banner. So I got a brand new, go check it out. There's an unboxing for it, but I got a brand new subscription box from A-Box, and that came in it, and that thing's awesome. So, shout out to them.
My biggest disappointment with this week's episode is where the hell's Arya? You didn't have my girl Arya in it.
Everybody can travel fast, but the girl on horseback.
Yeah, no. Arya takes forever to do things, okay? Her story arc is like the slowest damn arc in the history of arcs, okay?
Yeah, you want an ace in the hole? There's your girl Arya Stark.
Jack Malice said Uber's not that fast earlier in the chat, but apparently Arya forgot to call Uber. So
yeah,
it's faster than what everybody else is doing. So, but yeah. So once again, everybody, Robert, Marco, Big Papa Matt, Jack jumping back in there after he got possessed. Thanks for jumping into the chat channel and talking with us. If you guys are watching this after the fact and it's no longer live, come back when we're doing this live. Join us in the chat. It is a lot of fun. There's a lot more insight going on than what you're hearing us say. We're getting a lot of our good stuff to talk about from the people that are sitting in that chat room. So we thank you very much for helping us talk about a show that we love and nerding out over it. But let's talk about where we can follow people. So, Super Hoovian, where can we follow you?
Just follow me on Twitter at SuperHoovianNut.
Okay. Don't
like,
know.
I'm used to the follow me there. It's fun.
Yeah. It's fun. There's a lot of good stuff that's been happening on there. I need my glasses. I can't read the chat anymore.
There we go. And Beacon, where can we follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me at Beacon_Malice Corp. You can also follow our normal MaliceCast at MaliceCast, and you can follow the website at Malice Corp. So all on Twitter. Also, definitely check out the website as well, of course, malice-corp.com.
And they're still coming out with good things here on the chat. So, God, you guys are awesome. So
what is dead may never die. So,
yeah. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at @mest_Malice Corp, and you can also follow me on Instagram at mest5150. Along with that, make sure you check out the website malice-corp.com. We try to get more articles out there. A lot of what I've been putting out there has been recaps of the panels from Comic-Con with videos that are here on the channel as well. So, but we will get more articles coming out. We have Igor writing up some articles for you guys and stuff. So definitely check out malice-corp.com.
Come back tomorrow.
Yes.
Come back tomorrow for Preacher. We do that live. We're going to be doing that at
whenever we all get done watching it.
I think it's 9 p.m. is Pacific Standard Time is what we're planning on doing it at. And also, if you're in San Diego in the San Marcos Vista area, check out Battle Mage. Great pub, very geeky, friendly, and has some great beer. Also, check out Sky High Comics, great comic book shop. And yeah, so thanks again for joining us. And we will see you guys tomorrow, Friday, or Sunday, depending on when you come back live with us.
Exactly.
And you guys keep nerding on.
Yeah, stay
Peace
nerdy out there. Hold on.
Peace.